Hi, I'm Erin Ashley Simon. I am a broadcaster, producer, as well as an esports org owner.
So, Erin, I know you grew up in New Jersey. Can you take us back a little bit to when you were younger? What was that game we'd see you on for hours and hours?
The first video game I think that really hooked me was Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis, because that was the console that my brother owned. And then eventually there were other games like Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil franchise, and a few others that really I was hooked on.
And why are you so passionate about gaming and esports?
I'm passionate about gaming and esports because it's such an expressive and unique art form. It's also one of the most social things. A lot of times people have this assumption that gaming is not social. It is. And for me growing up, I was a very nerdy kid. Even though I played soccer and, was associated with like the cool kids in my school, I never really felt connected to them. And I always loved, video games. I loved reading. I loved science. I was always so much of a nerd. And so the thing I really loved about gaming was that social component and how it tied me to so many different kinds of peoples, and I developed so many different relationships with people, and it helped me to be a lot more social during a time where it's kind of a hard struggle for me to make friends sometimes and to build different relationships.
How has playing soccer and that experience helped you navigate getting into the gaming world?
Look, I'm very competitive. Soccer had me be very competitive, and I'm still competitive to this day, but I can't play soccer. I mean, my knees are not working as well as they used to and everything like that. And so being able to have that competitive drive, I can do it in gaming. And then also just the whole team oriented thing, right? Even when you're playing video games, especially when it comes to multiplayer, you have to play as a team. And I think another thing too is playing soccer has really set me up for working in this space. Being able to the same way that there is an objective in sports and you have to accomplish it, right, in order to win and to succeed. It's the same thing in gaming. It's the same thing even in just business, right? There's certain things and objectives that we have to do from a working perspective that I have to hit, and being able to perform, and even be able to perform on such a high level and platform is the same thing that I do in broadcasting. And the same way that I prepared myself for soccer is the same way that I prepare myself for the work that I do in this space. And so sports really helps to prepare people for life, I would say. And it just so happens that I've been able to develop a career in the gaming space.
The fact that you were able to kind of bring all your skill sets together, because you're definitely more than a multi-skilled person, to kind of carve out a career for yourself. You've got the sports background, hosting, writing, communications. Sometimes young people struggle with, what do I want to be when I grow up? Can I actually bring all the things I like to the table and find a job in that space? And can you talk a little bit about how you were able to do that?
I kind of stumbled into the career space that I have within gaming. But what I can say is a lot of the work that I did prior to that is what set me up for success in this space. So, I worked a lot behind the scenes. So I worked a lot as a producer. I worked on the social team. I worked in so many different facets and areas of media and entertainment. And all of that has, one, made me a better host, but it's also made me a better businesswoman when it comes to the gaming space, because gaming is pop culture. It touches every single sector, every single space, and pretty much almost every single business. So I've learned over time through just my experience that it's there's other ways to take the skills that you're developing to pursue a potential career and avenue in the space that you're passionate about, and you don't have to jump right into it in order to do it. You can find other avenues and ways and build up other skill sets.
You are definitely an advocate for, more participation from girls, LGBTQ plus community, diverse people in gaming. Can you talk a little bit about why you're so passionate about that? And what are you seeing in the industry now? This is, I guess, a part two as to how that could happen to open up gaming and change some of the things with esports that would allow these different groups to participate equally.
In order to level the playing field, companies need to put money in. People need to put money in. But it's just about convincing people and having them understand that, when it comes to inclusion, the more people that we have, the better this industry is going to be. The more that we can shape these conversations in a manner where people in so many different areas and sectors can understand, the more that we'll be able to bring more women and people of color and LGBTQ plus into this space. But I do understand that we have to do that to open up the doors more, to have more women and have more people who just aren't represented as much or don't feel as safe, and us putting the money where our mouth is so we can create more of those spaces that keep them safe, that make them feel comfortable, that retains these kind of talent while also increasing profit and opportunities on the business side for a lot of different companies.
What do you say to youth who are avid gamers, passionate about it? I guess they're trying to balance their schooling and gaming, but maybe their parents or the people that are they look up to as guardians aren't really on board with them spending a lot of time gaming, or maybe there might be comments of gaming isn't going to pay your bills when you get older. What do you say to those youth who just kind of need some encouragement on being who they are and just kind of going with it?
There's so many different people who are successful that play video games, from CEOs to professional athletes. Look, I used to play video games for 8 to 12 hours sometimes. I graduated with honors in high school. I graduated cum laude in college, and I was a D1 athlete in the SEC, which is one of the most toughest divisions when it comes to sports and conferences when it comes to sports. So I was able to do just fine and still play immense amount of hours of video games. And so the more that they can send their parents links and send them some information. Also, colleges are now giving scholarships, so kids can actually go to college off of playing video games now.
What advice do you have for a girl who wants to get into gaming that maybe is feeling a little bit the confidence isn't there, or maybe just had dealt with some bullying, or maybe just doesn't see herself there, because sometimes it's hard for young people to find role models, right? And that's why we're doing this whole thing. What advice do you have?
The one thing that we're starting to notice is a shift in the industry where women and people of color are saying, we're not going to tolerate this toxicity. We're not going to tolerate these things anymore. And we're going to be vocal about it too. We're doing this so that we can hopefully create, a different pathway for all the young girls. There are so many women and young ladies in this space who there are different communities that you could be part of, whether, there's Galorant, which is for Valorant. There's Queer Women of Esports. Your tribe is out there, and just don't be afraid to connect with other women, and don't be afraid to connect with other people. The 3 games that I've been playing when I can are Knockout City, Valorant, and Call of Duty. My favorite candy is Reese's Pieces Buttercups. My favorite hobby outside of gaming is photography. My favorite movie is The Nightmare Before Christmas. It was my favorite childhood movie. I'm a fan of Tim Burton, and I watch it every Christmas as well as Halloween. My favorite song, honestly, is anything that Ozuna puts out. I love Ozuna, I love reggaeton, and I'm Latin myself, and so it's hard for me to pick one song, but I can pick one artist, definitely anything he puts out. My favorite thing about New Jersey is it's close to New York, it's close to Philadelphia, it's close to Boston, and it's also close to DC. So not only do I get the suburban experience, but I get the city experience as well.